I've studied global South and South-South cooperation in many ways. But I think what is China's role at the moment when you talk about the global South and developing countries, it serves like an inspiration to developing countries, to the least developed countries. Why? Precisely because if you really look at China, it developed its economy and everything is indigenous. You know, it capitalizes on its own domestic strength as a country and it's growth and opening up. There's such a thing in China that it's modernization, opening up and reforms. If you really study the economic development of China 40 years ago until now, it's based on its own historical background. It's based on its comparative advantage. And it is based on the resilience and the hard working of the Chinese people. This is actually the foundation why China is China today. The second economy, the largest, and even number one, I think, in many respects. I think that is an inspiration to the whole global South, to the global South countries, precisely because this is the kind of things that we need to adopt, and I think not necessarily copy China in everything that it does, but I think we need to learn how to develop our own economy based on our own resources, based on our historical underpinnings, and then pursue our own development that what we think is right for us and define the destiny of our own countries based on what we think is right, but not based on the dictates of other countries. I think that's I think the best example personally that I get by learning from the experience of China when you talk about economic development, when you talk about modernization, and when you talk about trying to, to be up there as a developing economy still, because it's not yet, the whole of China is not yet fully developed.
Okay.
It has its own challenges. I think that is a very good example of a global South country.